Good morning to all my awesome friends and family. You know what time it is. It is Thursday, Fairy Garden Thursday. Every Thursday we get together and make a fairy garden or two. Anytime anyone would like to jump in and join in, put a video up on any Thursday is fine, and share what you have put together. Or if you just want to come by and see what Grandma did, that's okay too. Well, I hope you enjoyed the 3 fairy gardens I put together today. This is one that I did last week, and I just wanted to share with you. It's still there, it's still put together, and Grandma's always doing something in the fairy garden. Well, I think it's time to get busy with the fairy garden. As you can see, there's one live plant in this pot, and I think I'm going to go and see if I can find a few more live plants and put some more soil in here and see if we can have a glorious fairy garden put together today. Need to get busy and get us a fairy garden going here. Can't wait to share with you once I get this area cleaned up and get it planted. It will be really nice, I know. Thank you so much for stopping by for another one of my fairy garden videos. We'll keep updating us putting this fairy garden together, and hopefully it will look beautiful soon. I did 3 fairy gardens today, so I'm going to share all 3 with you. I cleaned all the pots out, put some fresh soil on top, and put some grass clippings over the soil. This one, I had these plants already. I emptied some pots out, and that's where they came from. All the fairy accessories I already had too. I probably maybe spent $5 for all 3 containers, and that was only for some fresh potting mix on top. So I thought we did pretty good. And I'm definitely going to have to paint all these fairy accessories probably this coming year. They're starting to look pretty bad. But for right now, I thought it looked pretty good. What do you think? The birds act like they're happy to see Grandma back out in the garden. And I emptied some more pots, so I'll have some more pots to fill up with some small miniature gardens too. Thought it turned out pretty good. Hopefully these plants will look a little sprier in a few days. I think a couple of them went into shock, so hopefully they're going to survive. Let me know what you thought of my first fairy garden I put together. Had a little house, 2-story, with a little fireplace inside, shingled roof, and as you can see, my mushrooms have pretty well faded away. And they are doing the same on my tree also. And then we have our 2 little fairies here visiting, because you know fairies are very social, and they love to be with each other and talking. Here is our second little fairy garden. As you can see, I have quite a few succulents in here, but these are just cuttings of plants I already had. So there was no money spent on plants, and the soil is covered with grass clippings. And the little pine cones were something I picked up off the ground. And the little mushrooms I already had, along with the little castle and the little frog inside. And I've had the little frog and the castle probably about maybe 3 or 4 years. It's not new. And the little mushrooms probably about 2 or 3 years also. So not much was spent, just a little bit of fresh soil, and that's all. Hope you're enjoying what we're sharing. You can make fairy gardens as long as you have accessories already bought and paid for. You can make them pretty cheap and reuse and repurpose what you already own. And this little fairy garden, same thing. Everything here I've already used and had for years. I had taken one of my big pots apart, and that's where this one came from, and I probably have had that about 7 or 8 years, if you can believe it. My little fairies I've had for 2 or 3 years, and the grass clippings, and all the plants in here are cuttings from my garden. I have lots of cuttings, and it's a great thing about succulents. You can just keep cutting and cutting and cutting and making new arrangements with what you have. And Grandma also has lots and lots of seeds Even though it looks really bad out here right now, it will be very pretty in a few more months. And as you can see, I already own tons and tons of bags of potting mix already. I didn't even have to go buy them. I already had them here. So we'll just keep messing with them until we empty them out and clean up this area. Have a lot of leaves drying out here. And even that I don't worry about. I rake them up, put them in the bottom of my pots to take up some of the space, and they'll break down over time, and put my fresh soil on top. That way I'm not using so much money for soil. So, and eventually it will break down and I'll just put some fresh soil in next year. That's what Grandma does. She tries to figure out as many different ways as she can to cut down on expenses. So here are our 3 fairy gardens for today. And hopefully when we do another post, we'll start getting some of this area behind me cleaned up. I have a lot of pots to re-clean out and remove things around, and I have lots more to share. So don't worry, Grandma always can think of something to share in her garden. Hope you enjoyed Fairy Garden Thursday. Now, anyone that would like to join in, feel free to do so. We would love to have you here and joining in with us. You can put your video up anytime on Thursday, and it's Fairy Garden Thursday. And as you can see, we have plenty of fairy gardens, and hopefully it will inspire you to join in. Thank you so much for stopping by, my dear friends. We always love you coming by. Thank you for all your love and support. Thanks for watching all the way through. We always love having you here with us. See you next Thursday and see what we have to share. And hopefully as we do these, I'll get my yard cleaned up. It is a total mess out here, and Grandma has so much to share. Thank you all. Hugs and kisses from Grandma Sandy and Debbie.